The air in the Hall of Whispers was thick with a scent of ozone and quiet despair. It was a place of soft lights and softer voices, where the Velen, a species of slender, willowy beings with skin like mother of pearl, practiced their art of bioresonance. They did not heal with knives or drugs, but with symphonies of energy, coaxing the body's own light back into alignment. On the central dais, held in a cradle of gentle forces, lay Kalen, a Velen warrior, or what was left of one. His form was a tapestry of ruin, crisscrossed with the searing, black energy burns of a Xylac plasma whip. His personal resonance, once a bright, clarion call, was now a sputtering, dissonant hum on the edge of silence. The chief healer, Ilara, her large, liquid-eyed pools of sorrow, lowered her head. The intricate patterns of light she wove around him simply slid off the damage, unable to find purchase. The other healers, their hands glowing with futile effort, mirrored her resignation. The damage is too profound, Ilara's thought voice whispered to Hall, a dirge of the mind's present. The core resonance is shattered. We cannot reweave a thread that is broken. His light will fade by the next cycle. Kalen's mate, Lyra, stood at the edge of the dais, her own light dimmed with a grief that was a physical weight. She had fought beside him, had seen him take the blow meant for her. To see him end like this, not in the heat of battle, but in the quiet hum of hospice, felt like the universe's cruelest joke. It was then that the outsiders arrived. The ship was a blocky, brittlest thing of hardened steel and roaring engines, a stark contrast to the Velen's silent, organic vessels. They were humans, a delegation from a newly contacted, fiercely physical species. Their presence was a diplomatic formality, but one of them, a man named Rorik, had broken from the tour group. He was their military attaché, a man whose broad shoulders and scarred knuckles spoke of a life lived in the stark arithmetic of force. He stood in the arched entrance to the Hall of Whispers, his presence an intrusion of solid, unyielding matter into a space of ethereal energy. He ignored the disapproving glances of the Velen and walked straight to the dais, his eyes fixed on Kalen. What's wrong with him? Rorik's voice was a low, gravelly thing, out of place in the hallowed silence. Ilara turned, her thoughts tinged with annoyance. His life pattern is unraveling. The Xylac weapons do not just wound the flesh. They sever the connection to the source. We cannot mend it. Rorik leaned closer, not with reverence, but with the analytical focus of a mechanic inspecting a broken engine. He saw the burns, the way the Velen's body seemed to be dissolving at the edges into faint motes of light. You're trying to restitch his soul? Rorik asked, his translator struggling with the concept. In a manner of speaking, Ilara replied, we are attempting to restore the resonant frequency that is him. It is failing. Rorik grunted. He pointed a thick finger at Kalen's chest, where the blackest of the burns festered. That's a wound. The spirit follows the body, not the other way around. You're trying to tune an instrument that's been smashed. Fix the instrument first. The healers stared, aghast. It was the most profound heresy. To them, the body was a mere echo of the resonant self. There is nothing to fix, Ilara insisted. The physical vessel is secondary. It is the light within that is dying. The light's going out because the damn lamp is broken. Rorik shot back, his patience fraying. He looked at Lyra, saw the utter devastation on her face, and something in his own hardened heart clenched. He had seen that look before, on too many worlds, in too many wars. He turned back to Ilara, his jaw set. You've tried your way. He's dying. Let me try mine. Your way? Ilara's thought voice was laced with disdain. You mean your primitive, invasive butchery? To cut, and so, as if he were a piece of fabric, you would desecrate him. I'd save him, Rorik said, his voice dropping to a near whisper. Or he dies with dignity. Your choice. A silent, furious debate passed among the healers. It was Lyra who broke the stalemate. She stepped forward, her light flickering with a desperate, wild hope. Let him try. Her thought voice was a fragile thread. What more could be lost? Ilara relented, her own light dimming with the shame of it. What followed was an offense to every Velen sensibility. Rorik had his field medkit brought from the ship. He cleared the dais of the gentle energy fields and laid Kalen on a hard, sterile sheet. He worked not with light, but with steel. The soft hum of bioresonance was replaced by the sharp snip of scissors cutting away robes, the hiss of antiseptic spray, and the grating sound of a bone saw being used to debride necrotic, crystallized tissue. The Velen looked away, unable to bear the sight. It was violence upon violence. But Rorik worked with a brutal, focused efficiency. He wasn't trying to sing a broken spirit back to life. He was an engineer on a critical system. He grafted synthetic skin over the worst burns. He injected powerful coagulants and stimulants from his own human pharmacopoeia, chemicals that screamed through Kalen's system like a fire alarm, shocking dormant processes back into action. He sutured torn muscle with wire-thick thread. He talked to Kalen as he worked, his voice a steady, grounding rumble. Come on, soldier. I've seen roaches with less fight in them. You took a hit. So what? You get up. You always get up. He was not healing a resonant frequency. He was repairing a machine. And in doing so, he was doing something the Velen could not. He was giving the spirit something to hold on to. Hours later, Rorik stepped back, wiping his bloody hands on a cloth. Kalen was a patchwork of synth skin and sutures, swaddled in bandages. But the dissolution had stopped. The black energy was contained, physically carved out of him. He was stable, but he was still unconscious, his resonance a faint, faltering whisper. The body will hold, Rorik said, his voice heavy with exhaustion. The rest is up to him. The Velen healers cautiously returned. They could sense the change. The frantic, dissonant spiral of Kalen's death had been arrested, replaced by a fragile, but steady, rhythm. They could now feel his core resonance, no longer bleeding out, but gathered tightly within the fortress Rorik had built of his own body. Ilera approached the dais, her previous disdain replaced by a stunned reverence. You gave the spirit a wall to put it back against, she whispered, finally understanding. Rorik just nodded, watching Kalen's chest rise and fall with a simple mechanical rhythm of breath. It was 2 days later when it happened. Lyra was sleeping by his side when a shift in the light of the room woke her. Kalen's eyes were open. They were clouded with pain, but they were focused. His resonance, while weak, was no longer a plea. It was a question. He tried to move, a groan escaping his lips. Lyra rushed to his side, her thoughts a joyful, frantic song. Be still, she pleaded. You are healed. But Kalen's eyes swept the room, past her, past the watching healers, and found Rorik, who stood silently in the corner, arms crossed. Their gazes locked. Human and Velen, butcher and healer. And, in that moment, they were neither. They were warriors. With a gritting of teeth that was audible in the quiet hall, Kalen pushed himself up. His body, the body Rorik had rebuilt, screamed in protest. Muscles torn and stitched, strained. Synth skin pulled taut. He trembled violently, his pearl-like skin sheening with sweat. Lyra cried out, trying to support him, but he gently pushed her hand away. He was not trying to get up to walk. He was trying to get up to stand. He swung his legs over the side of the dais, his feet touching the cool floor. Every movement was agony, written plainly on his face. He used the dais to pull himself upward, his arms shaking with the effort. For a terrifying second, he swayed, on the verge of collapse. Then he locked his knees. He straightened his back. He stood. He was hunched, breathing in ragged gasps, but he was upright. He was facing Rorik. He did not speak in words or thoughts. He simply brought a fist to his chest, over his heart, in the human gesture of respect. A salute. Rorik, his own face an unreadable mass of stone, returned the gesture. The alien healers had said he would die, for they saw a fading light that they could not rekindle. But the human, who saw only a broken tool, had hammered it back into shape. And in doing so, he had not just saved a life. He had given a dying warrior a floor to stand on, a body to command, and a reason to stand and fight again. The light hadn't needed a song. It had needed a shield. And now, standing on its own, it burned all the brighter for it.